we're about ready to go here at the Brendan Byrne Arena, just across the river from New York City. The New Jersey Devils, the injury-decimated New Jersey Devils. We touched on it in the opening. There's the official for this afternoon's game, Yevgeny Morozov of Moscow. And his linesmen will be Kevin Collins and Pat DiPuzzo from the National Hockey League.
There's a look at the visiting goaltender today, Sergei Milnikov. He has played in all 3 prior games prior to today on this tour for the Central Army. At the other end, an experienced goaltender by the name of Bob Sauvé has been around the league, but he doesn't have the great goals against, as you can see, at 4.75. But anytime you have an experienced goaltender like that, that stat or that goals against is pretty well a replica of how things have been gone for the team, as Joan. Well, I guess they've changed it on us. They put in Terrari, and we talked to Jim Schoenfeld before the game. He was going to start Sauvé, but as you can see and I can see, they have changed and gone to Chris Terrari, who played with the U.S. Olympic team last year at Calgary.
Fine college goaltender, Chris Terrari. And he, of course, gets the start, mainly because Sean Burke, who was the #1 goaltender on this hockey club when he's healthy, is out of the lineup because of injuries. They're missing 2 key people from their defense, and Bruce Driver and Jim Korn. And up front, John McLean, Patrick Sundstrom, and Pat Conacher also out with injuries. All key injuries to this hockey club. This play's underway here in the first period. Puck is cleared behind the net in the corner for the Devils now as they clear it out to center ice. And shot in by Perry Anderson. Puck at the line. Cirella unable to hold it in there. And in the center ice zone, Belichick. But the Soviets take over. Makarov with Karutov as they try to hit the line. Cirella's back there. Also checking on the play is Belichick. And it's Cirella behind the net. Cirella with Karutov. Forechecking on the play. Clears it out to center ice. Perry Anderson's got it there. Just dumps it in. It's bounced right past the Soviet defenseman Konstantinov and cleared in front. Unable to get his stick to it was Doug Brown, and Karutov's got it at center ice. Ahead to Makarov. Makarov to the line. Far boards where he is checked by Jani Ojanen, who is the youngest member of the Finnish national team at the Olympics. Just brought up from the minor leagues for this game, and because of the injury situation. Here's Chernik coming back. Chernik turning at center ice. Now to the line where it's shot in by Stelnov. Al the lane behind the net. He's checked. Ojanen's back there as well. Ojanen flipping it off the boards, unable to get it out. It's kept inside the zone. Bekov cruising around in front of that net, tried to get it in there, but it was deflected away by Tom Kerbers, who jams it in against the boards, getting a little help from Ojanen in there. The puck pops free, and it's Brendan Shanahan. Shanahan flipping it. Rink wide pass. That's Ojanen over the line, but he is checked on the play by Stelnov. In the corner, puck pops free. Ojanen's got it again. Ojanen flipping it. Shanahan, number 11. Shanahan in close quarters there with Zelepukin behind the net. It's cleared to the side of the net, and it's Malachov. Malachov to his own line. Just one hands a pass. Ahead for Bekov. Bekov shoots it wide. Muller on the far boards, working it up to the blue line to center ice, and a rink-wide pass there taken by Dave Maley. Maley over the line. Muller throws a check, but ducking away from that check was Gusarov. And now over the line comes Homotov, getting set on the backhand shot. The big save made by Terrari in front of the net. Now up against the boards. Soviets trying to get loose at the side of the net, but Wolanin stripped that play. Maley up along the boards, can't get it out of the zone as Kasatonov keeps it in. Now it's cleared to center ice. Kasatonov will go back for it, along with Gusarov, who picks it up and takes it behind his own net. Gusarov checked by Maley. Ahead at center ice for Bekov. Carries the puck through the center zone, clears it off for Homotov. Homotov trying to control it against the boards. Belichick up along the boards, can't get it out. Now it's cleared to center ice. And for the Jersey Devils, that's Muller who's got it in deep, trying to one-hand it behind the net. Muller to Cirella. Cirella pitching in from the defense position. Now that's Carlson, Anders Carlson. Here's a shot from a bad angle by Maley. Maley trying to get the return pass from Carlson. Maley's got it in the corner, but he's being checked pretty closely in there by Kasatonov. They try to jam it in. Still no whistles in this game. Kamensky. Bekov wheels it around the boards to the far side, and it's Belichick out in front. Play is loose at the side of the net. Terrari clears it to the far boards. Cirella moving in. Cirella clearing it behind the net. Carlson back there. Ahead for Kamensky. Kamensky at center ice now, leading the rush along with Bekov over the line. Kostichin in front of the net. Kamensky still with that puck. Kamensky doing a great job. Clears it in front. There's a shot raised off the outside of the post. The shot was taken by Bekov. Now out along the boards, Mark Johnson. Johnson played 4 minutes here in the period as he clears it in, and finally Terreri gets the whistle, and we'll have a face-off down in the Soviet zone. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV.
Can't beat it.
Going back deep inside the zone to control it in there. Also in there is Mark Johnson. Loose. The backhanded shot in front of the net. Rooney taking that. Johnson gets it at center ice. Mark Johnson. Big star in the gold medal win for the United States in 1980. Johnson over the line. That was a 2-line pass offside. So we'll have a face-off back down in the Jersey Devils end of the ice.
Well, the Soviet Central Army team, and this is a look at their bench. There's Viktor Tikhonov behind the bench. They've had the easier traveling schedule of the two Soviet teams. They've just been bouncing here in the Northeast from Quebec to Boston to Long Island, and they haven't been doing much traveling, where on the other end, the Riga team has been all over the West. They've down to Los Angeles, and they're moving on out of there. Going to spend a couple of days. So.
Yeah, they got the 2 days in Los Angeles, though.
Well, the weather wasn't that good there for us anyway, so we're kind of glad we got out of there. Did you believe that?
No.
I don't either.
Viktor Tikhonov is just when they think they have him on the ropes in the Soviet Union, the media getting all over him, criticizing the way he coaches. Nothing's different over there than here. He comes up with a gold medal at the Olympics, and I guess he's set for the next 4 years. Kirk, from the faceoff, it's cleared out to center ice as Karutov took the draw just near the line. Inside the zone now, Fetisov. Fetisov flipping it ahead. A giveaway inside the zone, but the shot taken by Danico winds up in the crowd, and we'll have a face-off. Well, Jim Schoenfeld, I guess, under a little bit of fire here. He has had his problems, but his biggest problem is he can't put a lineup on the ice. He's had so many injuries, key ones. The team didn't start off well, then the injuries came, and what are you going to do?
Well, one of the things he's looking at, he doesn't like the schedule that they've had, and they've got about 5 days off here with this game thrown in. So this is more of a rest period for some of his players to get them back in the lineup, get them healthy. They've got a game under their belt that's going to today that's going to give them some experience. But all in all, he's looking at this 5 days off as a real rest period.
Puck is cleared in front of the net and intercepted right at the goal mouth area by Makarov. Karutov at center ice. Makarov now. Fetisov was breaking as well. They tried to drop it to Karutov. Makarov carried it in over the line, and the Devils intercepted it. Out at center ice is Loisel. His shot, and it's deflected off Milnikov's glove and into the corner. Now Karutov. Oh, he's nailed. He had his head down, and Perry Anderson made him pay. We'll take a break. No score in the game. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CT. Well, there's Perry Anderson. You can almost see this one coming as Karutov picked the puck up in the corner, Brad.
Well, Vladimir Karutov is one of the stronger players, but Perry Anderson just gets a big piece of him. And if you see Karutov has a shield on now, the plexiglass shield, I would believe that would be because of the game in Quebec when he got cut under the right eye.
Stelnov trying to get it out of his own zone. Devils playing well right now. Here's Oyanen's shot, and it's right off the chest protector of Milnikov. It's the best shot of the game so far, even from the distance. Now it's cleared out to the line past Sorella, and in the center ice zone, Oyanen back to get it. The rookie back deep in his own zone now, circling. And he'll come up on the right boards. Feeds it to center ice. Taken there by Aaron Broughton. Ahead for Shanahan, who got it in over the line, and it's called on the offside there, and we'll get the face-off outside the Soviet blue line once again. As you look there at Aaron Broughton.
We're going to have a look, Ron, of the shot that just went on Milnikov by Olana. Watch Milnikov in the net as New Jersey works the puck to the right. Here's Sorella going to crank it up, or Yohannan, but look where Milnikov is in that net. He is very deep in that net. That's in complete contrast to the young guy that we've been watching, Herbe. So this is the guy that Herbe's job is after Milnikov's job, so we're going to keep an eye on the way he's going to be playing.
Omotov inside the Soviet blue line. Now feeds it out. Gusarov gets it out to center ice. Leading the rush now is Kamensky. Hits the line, leaves it for Bekov to Homotop. Homotop to Bekov. Bekov behind the net. Clears it through the goal mouth area. Good job there of tying up Kamensky in the slot area by Tom Kerbers. Out at center ice it comes once again. Now Gusarov passing it off in the center ice zone to Homotop, who flips it in finally. Kamensky will go in after it as Terreri's out of his net and leaves it there for Albaline. Along the boards, Melee, Albaline in the corner. Forechecking Kamensky, but they get it out to center ice. Muller just relaying that puck through the center zone. Now Carlson over the line. He dropped it into an open wing. Melee catches up to it along the boards. Now Carlson in front. And Muller was unable to get free. Now a wide open net. Melee looking for a loose puck, and he can't find it. Tied up in the skates. Great chance, but Bekov was in there checking as well. Now back they come. Kamensky, and he's knocked away from him. Net goes off its moorings, and we'll get a face-off down in the New Jersey end. Good end-to-end action. A couple of skirmishes around the goal mouth. There he is.
Well, Jim Schoenfeld saying it's never too late to come back. Watch, Vyacheslav Bekov here. Here's Anders Carlson moving the puck, misses Muller with a pass, but Milnikov completely bobbles it. Now watch here as Bekov, number 19, picks out that pass going in the front of the net to Melee. All because of Milnikov not handling the puck in front of the net.
Look very highly of this kid. Maybe part of the... correct that, it's Koskichkin, Pavel Koskichkin, number 27. Inside the zone, Wolanin. Wolanin out at center ice now. Rooney over the line. Rooney feeding it through, trying to get it to his line mate Mark Johnson. It winds up in the corner. And it's fed right back out to center ice again. Wolanin back to get it. Wolanin feeding it through center ice. And back deep to get it is Malahov. Working with Starikov right now. The Soviets have dressed as seventh defenseman, which is unlike them. And Starikov is that seventh man. Karutov now gets it over the line. Nemchinov was flattened on the play. Notice they're double-teaming Karutov right now as Nemchinov is out there with Kostichkin. And Karutov on the other wing. Back inside his own zone. Konstantinov ahead. Now Karutov dropping it off. There's Makarov, and his shot off a leg. Back come the Devils at center ice now. Anderson working to the line. He's chased out of the play by Larionov, and the puck is cleared to center ice. Now watch Karutov floating through the middle there, but Makarov couldn't get the puck to him. Now working up through the middle is Konstantinov, but he's stopped as he hit the line by Loisel, and Cirella's got it inside his own zone. Cirella ahead with Loisel over the line. Loisel going for the net as Cirella takes the shot. Loisel's got it in the corner now. Loisel circling. Checked on the play, and it's out at center ice, and Makarov tried to tip it to a line mate. There was nobody there, and Doug Brown shoots it right in over the line. Fetisov to Makarov. Makarov out there with Karutov and Larionov now. Makarov dropping it back. Fetisov, the trailing man on the play, tried a backhand pass intended for Karutov, and he seemed to get the heel of his stick on it, and that was about all. Back come the Devils with Oyanin dropping it to Broughton. Broughton feeding it to an open wing. Catching up to the puck there is Kerbers. Kerbers in deep behind the net now. There's Oyanin. Oyanin stripped of the puck. It comes out to Larionov at center ice now. Larionov shooting it in. Kerbers is back there to get it. Soviets make a complete change. No score in this hockey game as the puck is cleared to Shanahan. Shanahan dropping it. Oyanin moving in. He's checked on the play. Good defensive move by Malahov. And behind the net it goes. Telepukin's in there. He's number 10. Telepukin out through center ice, and the puck deflects up into the crowd off Yevgeny Davidov's stick, and we'll get a face-off. We've played 9 minutes and 39 seconds here in the first period without a goal so far.
We do a lot of it in practice.
Now from the face-off, Kerbers behind his own net just shoots it down the ice. And back for the Soviet Union is Starikov. Touches it, no icing. It was waved off. I think Starikov expected the icing. Cleared out to center ice off the stick of Davidov and back in. Milnikov leaving it there. Stelnov unable to get loose. Starikov there behind the net. Stelnov deflected by Davidov out through center ice and up into the bench area. And we'll get another face-off. There is Davidov, a rather well-known fellow if you're a close follower of international hockey. Yevgeny Davidov at age 21 was part of that infamous World Junior Championship in Piastany, Czechoslovakia. He was the one who led the charge off the bench for the Soviets. That's what started the brawl. The brawl actually began in the corner. Kostichkin was involved with Tieran Fleury in the corner. The high stick theory to Fleury, and then from that led to a punch thrown, and then milling around, and then the charge off the bench by Davidoff, which precipitated the brawl. And of course, one of the black marks in international hockey history.
Ron, not sure if he was trying to get out there and do something or just get a closer look.
There's a shot. They score. Not much of a goal. Konstantinov let a shot go along the ice that I don't think he even got good wood on, but it caught the inside of the pad of Terrari and slid underneath him and into the net. Konstantinov, number 16. Take a look at this, Brad.
Well, this is Larionov going behind the net. He makes a pass out, but you notice how Konstantinov is not staying at the blue line. He just shoots it, and actually Terrari puts it in his own net because he's going to stick out his left leg. Watch it hit the inside of his left leg and trickle in behind him. One of the rules of the things that we saw in the Olympics last year with Terrari was very, very weak through the legs. A number of goals, and he took a big loss for the United States team in the Olympics. And probably about 4 or 5 goals went through his legs.
Just the third shot by the Soviets in the game, and they lead it 1-0. Get the official scoring in a moment on that goal. But it's certainly Konstantinov gets the goal. Cirella at center ice now. Clearing it off the boards. Moving it ahead is Fetisov. That pops free, and back comes Brown for the Devils, fighting his way past the blue line. Into the corner, Konstantinov trying to duck away from some checking there by Doug Brown. Out at center ice for Larionov. Larionov coming through the center zone, winds up and shoots it. It's blocked by Cirella at the defense. Larionov once again behind the net as Larionov took a hit. Turning with it is Velishek to the line and no further. Now out at center ice, Makarov. Makarov getting it over the line, is fired off the boards and back out to center ice by Loisel. Stelnov back inside his own blue line. Ahead, Davidoff. He's unable to get loose. Here's Shanahan now. Shanahan working into the goal mouth area, but the play is stripped by Stelnov and cleared down the ice. There'll be icing here if, in fact, Wolanin gets to the puck first, which he does in a race with Davidoff, and will have a face-off back down in the Soviet end. 1-0. The Central Army leads New Jersey. This is the NA by keeping their draft choices. The one thing he did when he came in here from Washington and took over this hockey club was he didn't trade the draft choices, and I think it's starting to pay off for them. Puck cleared in by Ojanen. Behind the net, it's Brendan Shanahan, another one of the young players, right out in front. Chance, there's another shot. That one a backhand by Wolanin. And behind the net now, that's Aaron Broughton. He looks for a man. Look at the bodies fly in front of that net now. Here's Broughton, unable to get a shot away. Wolanin shooting it into the crowd. On his knees was Stelnov, and he cleared it away. Zelepukin at center ice now. He hits the line along with Davidoff. Zelepukin unable to get through the defense. And out at center ice is Shanahan, clearing it in. Both teams will make a change now. Deep in his own end is Alexei Gusarov. Gusarov ahead for Bekov at center ice. Bekov. He hits the line now. Bekov flipping it in over top of the net. Back in there is Homotov. He takes a hit, tries to make a play, so is Kamensky in there. And out they come once again as Muller leading the rush. Muller dropping the pass off, but he passed it a bit behind him, and Kerbers was late hitting the line and is called on the offside. Well, Kirk Muller, a key part of the 1984 Olympic team for Canada, has had success here in New Jersey.
He's a fine prospect. Who was drafted behind Mario Lemieux was Kirk Muller, number 2 overall by the Devils. Devils never got a shot at Lemieux, but they're very happy with this young guy, and he's been a great player for them. He's going to be kind of a franchise player because he does a lot of fine things out there with the puck. That one he had to move the puck a little early because of Gusarov, who moved on him, and he ended up putting himself offside.
Over the line, Muller, already the captain, of course, of this team at his young age, as is Lemieux, and his particular team. We'll be seeing him in a couple of nights. As a matter of fact, Lemieux and Muller put on a show the other night that was quite interesting as New Jersey and the Devils played. 8-6 was the final score. 8 points for Lemieux, and I think it was a 6 for Muller or 5. Here's a chance now for Bekov. Shoots, scores on the backhand as he's going in very quickly. and just got loose. And it's the one thing you can't allow the Soviets to do is get behind your defense like that. They very seldom make a mistake.
Well, the one thing that happened on this play, you'll see the New Jersey defense give up the blue line. Once they give up the blue line, they get frozen in the middle. Watch here as they give up the blue line. They're in the middle. This was the responsibility of the winger who was wide, who didn't pick him up. Bekoff turning on a little bit of jets, gets a in on Terreri, goes to his backhand, and just puts it by the far side.
You get that situation where the two defensemen, one trying to help the other, which is the big mistake.
Well, on that play, Ron, what you end up, you have to depend on your forwards. They had a winger wide. Once that winger is wide, you completely write off the winger on the other team because you concentrate on what's in the middle. A lot of times the defense gets blamed for it, but it's a mistake by the forward.
Bekoff scoring from Kazatonov and Homotov at 14:20. It's 2-0 now. Here's a backhand shot taken by Kostichkin. Deep in his end now. Yemchinov, he clears it right in front of the net. Now Kostichkin trying to get loose, and it winds up out at center ice. Turning back there is Yemchinov. Two-line pass. No, it wasn't offside. As Zelepukin is back, leaving it there. Starikov starting out. Konstantinov, as the big line comes out now. There's Makarov trying to get through the defense. He's checked on the play. Doug Brown. Brown getting it to Danico. Danico trying to return it to the corner. Perry Anderson's in there. So is Brown, jamming and fighting for the puck along with Larionov. Now behind the net. Konstantinov there. Brown jamming. Fetisov moves in. He comes away with the puck. Fetisov out at center ice for Larionov to Kurutov. Kurutov is checked up along the boards. Wolanin to Fetisov, backs into his own end and then flips it out to center ice. And Makarov turns with it. He gives it to Kurutov, and it goes right by him. Danico clearing it. Larionov knocked it aside, but it's cleared to center ice. Fetisov back inside his own zone. Stops at the blue line. He'll start out slowly through center ice. Now to Larionov. Ducks around a check. Feeds it rink wide. Off the stick of Kurutov and up into the crowd. 2-0. Central Army leading the New Jersey Devils here at the Bruce Terreri, formerly of Providence College, and the Olympic team of the United States. Very acrobatic goaltender in the college ranks. Getting a chance to play here. He'll share the duties, according to the coach of the Devils, Jim Schoenfeld, with Bob Sobe. Inside the zone, Ojanen played pretty well, Brad.
Well, he has. He's a big, rangy guy for European player. He's young. He's got a lot of skills, and he's had some international competition. So he's going to get the New Jersey Devils want to get a look at him. He's been spending pretty well all the year in the minors.
Davidoff brings it in over the line. Trailing on the play was Zelepukin, who tried to get a shot away. Now he's got it again. Has trouble controlling it under the checking there of Albaline. And it's Brendan Shanahan. Shanahan was part of that big brawl on Piastani. As a matter of fact, the key part of it, he took on Davidoff. And apparently it was a pretty good scrap.
I love that. I thought the greatest thing they did in that brawl was when they turned the lights out. I think, okay, time to go home, boys.
Bekoff working in, cleared in front. Big save by Terreri. They pinched in Homotov in front, and a penalty was called on the play for holding by Morozov, the Soviet referee. 2-0 is the score. Central Army leading the Devils. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. Brendan Shanahan goes off for holding at 17:08. Face-off deep in the New Jersey end. Bekoff will take the draw against Loisel. From the face-off, Belichick picks it up, and he'll shoot it down the ice. Gusarov working the point with Kazatonov, who's the big boomer on this defense pairing. Maybe he has the best shot from the point on the team, including Fetisov. Kazatonov at center ice now. Checked away from him. Bekoff goes to the far boards, but he is ridden out of the play. Kamensky. Dropping it back to the defense. Kazatonov to Gusarov. He'll cut in front of his own net. Shoot it straight up ice. Good pass through center ice. Kamensky working for the net. Kamensky checked by Terreri. The rebound comes out to Bekoff. Kamensky. Now Kazatonov scores. There was the shot. Don't want him floating into the high slot to get a clean shot like that, and it is 3-0 on a power play goal.
Ron, it all starts in center ice. Watch how Randy Velishek gets the Soviet forward getting behind him, Kamensky. That should never happen. You always keep the play in front of you. You've got to be responsible. Once he gets the breakaway, gets poked away by Terreri, now the Devils are running around. He gets the puck back to Kasatonov, dead center, right through the legs. That's one thing that a lot of goaltenders have got to maintain that poise. They've got to stay up on their feet because it's very hard. Guys go out there, if they're moving and they don't have time, they're not picking corners, so you can't be worried about trying to cover those corners.
Nemchinov clearing it to center ice. Wolanin intercepts it now, clears it into the corner. Anders Carlson behind the net, but the Soviets beat him to the puck, and it's cleared to center ice. That pass intended there for Larionov, who's in deep now, forechecking as Denico clears it around the net. He's checked. Denico gets up on his feet once again. Clears it to Carlson. Carlson in front of the net to Denico. Denico ahead at center ice now. Melee unable to get it as it's taken by Starikov. And he swings it loose for Kostichkin. Starikov dropping it back. Karutov back to get it now, and he cleared it back deep in his own zone with players trapped, called on the offside. Or is it too many men?
Too many men on the ice, called by linesman Kevin Collins. He was standing there watching the change. And what happened, one of the Soviet players came over the boards, touched the puck before the player going off had actually gotten into the bench.
That kid look young or what?
That almost looks like Stevie Yzerman, doesn't he?
It does.
Pavel Kostichkin.
Oh, we're just getting a little older, Brad, that's all.
Not me, Ron. You look so great.
Kasatonov from Kamensky and Bekov at 17:51. Here it is.
There's Kamensky. Now here's Kasatonov. And this is the one thing the Soviet defensemen are doing more and more of. You know, out of Kasatonov or Fetisov is moving in, getting the puck. And as you notice that the Soviets started their second line on that power play instead of their first line. Give them more experience. As I said, Kamensky and Bekov and Hamatov are probably the second best line in the Soviet Union.
Behind the net, Fetisov now as the Soviets are killing off a penalty. Kept in at the blue line by Albaline. Behind the net, poking at it is Rooney. Up along the boards on this power play is Kerbers. He's checked on the play. Out at center ice, Makarov with Karutov. Karutov gets the pass, shoots it across the goal mouth area. Makarov was in too deep. He'd been ridden out of the play. Good play there made by Albaline. Now over the line, Rooney, deflected shot. Now behind the net, Mark Johnson trying to clear it in front. He gets it again. Johnson clearing it off the boards, and the defenseman Wolanin had pinched in too deep, and it wound up in the center ice zone. Now over the line they come once again with Kerbers getting set, clears it rink wide. Open wing, Fetisov checking against the boards. Also there is Karutov. It's cleared to an open wing. After it is Aaron Broughton in the corner. Takes a check from Konstantinov. Fetisov reaching into the legs there to try and control the puck. It's cleared away and down the ice by the Soviets.
One of the problems the New Jersey Devils have had this year has been their special teams. The power play has not been good. It's 20th in the National Hockey League. And the Soviets have been terrific penalty killers. They had 2 shorthanded goals against the Islanders the other night. Makarov and Krutov put on a little show for us.
So the period ends. The Soviets outshot the Devils 7-4 in the period. Goals by Konstantinov, Bekov, and Kasatonov. And the Central Army of Moscow leads the New Jersey Devils here at the Brendan Byrne Arena in the Meadowlands, New Jersey, by a score of 3-0. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. The Cap Center in Landover. St. Louis at Boston tonight. Hartford plays the Rangers across the river at Madison Square Gardens, and Edmonton at Minnesota.
Ron, the New Jersey Devils have had really kind of an up and down year this year. They've didn't get off to the good start. A lot of people feel they didn't come in with the right attitude after being successful last year. Now they're in a slump because of injury. So there's many things that are going to hurt a hockey club, and they're a type of team that's going to have to play in a lot of emotion to win.
Muller talked a little bit about it, Kirk Muller, during the intermission with Dan Matheson, about the fact that he just touched on it briefly, the fact that they're waiting for him a little bit too now. You have a little success and all of a sudden teams are ready for you when you come in, where you might not be in past years. Shanahan behind the net now. Power play underway. Albaline near the blue line. Here's his shot, and right through. A clear view there all the way for Milnikov in the corner. Shanahan trying to get it loose. It comes back to Albaline once again. Albaline just Sliding it along the board, Shanahan. Shanahan took a quick shot, but it was blocked at the defense. And the penalty is over now. And out to center ice come the Soviets. Larionov getting it ahead. Krutov is checked up along the boards now. That is Kostichkin in the corner. Kostichkin getting a shot. Stop made on the short side by Terreri. Albolin behind his own net. And here we go. Albolin at center ice. Gets some skating room. Takes a long shot off Kazatonov's stick. Gusarov behind his own net. Ahead. Homotov. Now over the line for Kamensky. Kamensky goes to the backhand on a short side. Put it through the goal mouth area, but there was nobody there with him. And behind the net now, it is cleared away by Danico. Around into the corner on the far side. Doug Brown moving in. Cleared it in front. There's a shot over top of the net taken by Bekov. That wound up in the crowd. And Bekov, the center of the top scoring line in the Soviet Union last year with Homotov and Kamensky. The Larionov line had won that honor.
Well, lots of action. Here's Kostichkin shooting from a bad angle. A little bit of a screen on Chris Terreri, but he stood his ground very, very well. Bekov would love to have this shot over. He can't figure out what happened here. A little bit of forechecking by Kamensky. Homotov out. Here's Bekov with a one-timer and hit the crossbar and up into the seats. A souvenir for somebody. And Bekov saying, well, why is the face-off outside? Well, he was the last man to touch the puck before he exited the surface of the rink.
Homotov clearing it on the backhand down the ice. There'll be some icing here as Cirella goes back to touch it. And back into the Soviet zone for the face-off. As we look at Joe Cirella. Pretty solid defenseman, Brad, who's one part of this new wave of young players that's come in. Actually, the beginning of the new wave under Max McNabb.
Well, Joe Cirella is a guy that they're looking to for the offense. He's the key on the power play. He's got the real big shot from back there, and he can shoot it on the fly. One of the advantages to having a guy like that can shoot the puck that well creates a lot of good scoring opportunities.
Belichick taking a shot from near the blue lines, cleared rink wide. Over the line comes Homotov. Homotov tried to slide it through. Cirella blocked that one up. And once again, New Jersey breaking it up. Anderson getting to the line, but is taken away from him by Fetisov, who cuts behind his own net, stops in a little traffic there, and then just unloads it into the corner for Gusarov. Gusarov clearing it out to center ice. Gusarov right now is playing with Fetisov, so they've juggled their defensive pairings. Something that Tikhonov told us he was doing, trying to help some of the younger players, let them play with the master, as it were. Homotov keeping it in at the blue line, breaks his stick as he's checked on the play. Bekov clearing it in front. Fetisov pinches in, gets near the corner, clears it out in front. There's a shot on a bang-bang play right in the goal mouth area, and Chris Terreri goes down and holds on. 3-0 Soviets lead. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV.
Troublesome times for goaltenders. Chris Terreri stood his ground, tied up that puck. The interesting watch here, this is the one thing the Soviets really work at, is those little passes in around the net. It's something they work in practice a lot. Watching the defense pairings for the Soviet team today, they've moved Konstantinov off of playing with Fetisov and put him with Kasatonov. But when he was playing with Fetisov, he was playing left defense, and now when he's playing with Kasatonov, he's playing right defense. So they're moving the young guy from side to side and not the veterans, which is unusual.
Big check in there. Stelnov was leveled behind the net. That was Maley that's in there. Maley now jamming away in front of the net, and Milnikov goes down on his knees and covers up and holds for the faceoff at the 2:56 mark of the second period. Maley and Muller in there, but it's Maley who nails Stelnov.
Big, strong guy, Maley, as he comes around, just tries to jam it in by. Milnikov takes another little slash at it. One of the problems, Ron, that the NHL teams have when they play these series is, around Christmas time, the first of the year, is that they have got to take time out from the regular season schedule. They are so intensely involved with the regular season, with the playoff races, with the grudge matches against the rival teams. All of a sudden, the Soviet team comes in here. They've got to completely readjust their way of thinking. They've got to psych themselves up for the game, a game that maybe they don't want to play, but they have to play it. The Soviets, on the other hand, they're only worried about these games.
At the side of the net, player is upended. That was Kostichkin at the side of the net. I think there's going to be a holding penalty called here on the Jersey Devils. So as Frank Wolanin, I think it is, or is it going to be Danico? It's for the penalty bench. We'll get it all sorted out when we come back. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. Edmonton's Ken Danico in the penalty box for interference as he tied up Kostichin in front of the net. Here's Kamensky throwing it in front, Brad. Oh, there's the shot. Here's the play in front.
Well, Kostichin was looking for the pass, breaking through the middle. Danico did a good job. Just took him out a little bit too hard and really upset him rather than just covering him and not drawing the penalty.
Soviets on the power play now. Larionov couldn't hold it at his own blue line. Cleared away by Doug Brown. Albaline in his own zone. Swept out to center ice by Curvers. And Makarov now back to get it. With a little room, trying to get some steam up. Now forced back a little bit. Makarov. Still has that puck. Gets it returned to him by Konstantinov. Fetisov shot right on. Good save there by Terrari, and he corralled it and hung on. Konstantinov working with Fetisov on the point position on this power play now. So they've reunited the pair of them as we look at Chris Terrari.
Well, Terrari come up with a right pad save on Fetisov. Here's a breakout now. This Kirk Muller had been chasing Krutov, and he redirected the puck, and Kirk Muller changed his mind and got caught, then gave the Soviets a lot more time to gain the blue line and set up that play.
Curvers backhanding it to the line. Konstantinov tried to keep it in, couldn't, and then it was batted back in and called on the offside for that infraction. As we look at young Konstantinov from Murmansk. World War II people remember the Murmansk run, the port city in the north of the Soviet Union. That's like coming from Churchill, Manitoba or something, or way up there.
Ron, we talk about the Soviet tendencies all the time, and one of the things that they'll do is they'll move the puck up into a guy at center ice. What he will do, he will not turn and try to beat those defensemen. He will start looking for somebody coming late. And what that does, you've backed up the defenseman. Now you're dropping the puck back to somebody coming with a lot of speed. The defensemen are forced to give up that blue line a lot of the times.
Over the line, Krutov trying to get loose, and he's stopped by Albaline. It's cleared back out to center ice, and Fetisov has it. Fetisov just backing into his own zone. Sit ahead for Larionov. Larionov ahead for Krutov. They haven't done much on this power play. Drops it back. Fetisov winding up. There's the shot. He scores. Could see it coming. Almost the same situation existed when Kazatonov got his goal. Fetisov got all the room in the world to let the shot go.
Ron, I love to see defensemen play their offsides, because anytime they're shooting the puck on the net, they're shooting it with their stick into center ice. Here's a play. Watch here as Krutov comes across. He's going to drop the puck. Watch Fetisov right now. He moves to the middle. His stick's on the inside through the legs of Chris Terrari. That one weakness that he had last year, and I don't think it's gone away. Here's the Soviet breakout. Fetisov, he's going to get the puck back. It's not Kirk Muller's job to stay with him because you're killing a penalty. Watch him go to the middle, top of the circles. You're not going to see it till it hits something.
Fetisov made it look downright easy there. He just kind of floated all the way through to get the goal. Knew exactly where to be, though. Bekov shooting it into the corner. Kazatonov is in deep now. Velishek poking it along the boards, but it's kept in at the line by Homotov. Fetisov from Krutov and Larionov at 4:38 to make it 4-0. And when they announced Fetisov's name, the crowd gave him a bit of a hand here. Will he or will he not be the first Soviet national team member to play in the NHL? Now, there was a Soviet, played in the Los Angeles Kings organization, but it was not a notable one.
Ron, you noticed that when the introductions at the beginning of the game, that everything was fine until they announced the name Viktor Tikhonov, and basically because Fetisov had said the other day on the island that Tikhonov's holding him back coming to New Jersey, and the crowd returned the pleasure to Mr. Tikhonov.
All right, well, a little pushing and shoving along the line and an offside. We'll take a break. 4-0. Central Army Jersey Devils. It has not been too good since about midway through the first period when the shots on goal were 3-3. Here's the goal. Good view of it, Brad.
Oh, this is meat and potato country right here, because, as I said, anybody who can shoot the puck like Fetisov can, you're not going to see it till it hits something. And Chris Terrari, that puck was through his legs before his knees even hit the ice.
Shots on goal since the midway point of the first period have been 10-3 in favor of the Soviets, and a total of 13-6 at this point. We're nearing the 7-minute mark of the second period. 4-0 is the score. Puck is cleared in. Shoveled away by goaltender Milnikov. Down behind the net, there's a chance as he tried to hook it. Perry Anderson did, but he just hooked it wide of the net. And a penalty has been called on the Soviets. Perry Anderson was hauled down. So, Telepukin getting a little bit of pushing and shoving on, but we'll take a break here as the Jersey Devils about to try their power play. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series at 6:22.
Watch here in front of the net. This is not the play. Well, it is the play because he's tripping Anderson as he goes around. Now, Milnikov had lost his stick, and that puck had a chance of going in the net just because Milnikov didn't have a stick to deflect it.
Back deep in his own zone is Curvers. He'll start out. New Jersey on a power play as Yemchenov moves in on him. 4-0. Soviets lead. Back deep in his own end is Starikov. Clears it along the boards. They can't get it out as Muller keeps control of it. Albaline, his shot is deflected off a stick into the corner. New Jersey keeping control now as Carlson out near the line. There's a shot. Muller backhanded it, but it went off a leg and went wide of the net. Out come the Soviets once again at center ice. Yemchenov, but he stopped as he hit the line by Albaline, and Muller starts back out again. Muller with Carlson. Feeds it off to the wing for Verbeek. Back to Muller. Shoots it right on. Bad angle. And an easy play, actually, for Milnikov. And the Soviets clear it down the ice. Terreri out of his net to give it to Albaline. Albaline shooting it in. Fetisov along the boards. There is Shanahan. Shanahan rolling it in front of the net. Karutov, he lost it, and it's called, and it'll be a high sticking call on the Jersey Devils, and I believe that Karutov picked up another crack across the mouth as he did in Quebec City. He's headed for the bench, doubled over. And he's already got a big cut under one eye. Let's take a look at it here.
Well, here's Shanahan. Misses on that backhand past the front of the net, and there's the stick coming up and catching Vladimir Krutov on the right cheek. He had got cut there in the Quebec game and had about 10 or 12 stitches under his eye. Here it is right now as he reaches over, but the blade of the stick just flicks him on his right cheek.
They gave him a 5-minute penalty.
Must have drawn some blood.
The NHL rule, of course, is very straight.
5 minutes high sticking plus a game misconduct.
The game misconduct also goes. Now, I don't know how that'll affect his position in the league. I doubt it will mean anything at all, but Shanahan's gone for the rest of the night on the high stick.
I don't think it's going to affect him for the league because this is what's considered an exhibition game. It's not part of the leg. If it was something that was really in flagrant or really intentional, then I'm sure the league would take action. But that was...
The only time I've ever seen that affect the league was Gary Suter of the Calgary Flames, who wound up in an elbowing, high-sticking situation in Hartford in a Team USA game against the Soviets, I think against Kamensky. And he wound up with a 4-game suspension in league play, plus a suspension that affected international play as well, in additional games. So, a game misconduct. Shanahan also the 5-minute high-sticking major. That came at 7:36. The teams are at even strength right now. Here's Albaline. Winding up the shot is a high shot that is gloved by Milnikov and held for the face-off.
Okay, how guilty is Brendan Shanahan here? Watch here as the stick is lifted by the defenseman Gusarov. Watch here as Gusarov hooks up Shanahan's stick. Right there, look at this. Up it comes. And that's when it catches Vladimir Krutov. Shanahan not as guilty as it would appear.
Well, even without that, just the way the play was going, it would have been seemingly accidental, but that doesn't cut any ice anymore. It's a very cut and dried rule, and I totally agree with the rule. Sometimes you get caught in the whole deal, and whether it's accidental or not really doesn't bear on it at all. Wolanin on a backhand shot. Milnikov handled that, and it's cleared out to center ice. The high sticking had become almost epidemic in the National Hockey League, and something had to be done with it. Homotov back in his own zone. And power play is now underway for the Soviets, and they've got 4 minutes and 10 seconds of it. Here is Krutov getting a hole, goes in, shoots it in on Terreri, who makes the save and holds on. Boy, do you see him knife the defense on that one? He's tremendous speed and strength to burst through. Bekov
just gets by the defense, watches the Soviets drift left. Both defensemen are moving. Now, you notice that winger was standing over there not covering anybody. That's how Bekov got through there. Number 12 for the New Jersey Devils did not pick him up. And that was Mark Johnson. That's what happens to defense a lot of time. We take an awful lot, defensemen, there you go, right? You like that? A defenseman take an awful lot of criticism. They see a winger back wide. They don't worry about the man wide. They concentrate on what's in the middle. And as soon as that wide guy gets by and in the hole, defensemen get the blame. And I don't like that.
All right.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm pointing this out right now.
I'm here to defend forwards. Bekov will take the draw against the Devils' Mark Johnson for the faceoff. Warlanen backhanding it down the ice. Konstantinov, Kazatonov's back there. Now Homotov. Homotov to the line, takes a drifting slap shot over top of the net. Brown up along the boards. Clears it out to center ice. Gusarov turns with it and feeds it back to Kazatonov. To Homotov. Homotov. The handling to Kazatonov. To the head. Homotov. Bekov. Kazatonov. Check thrown in there. That was number 24, Doug Brown. And Bekov. To the line now. Bekov just dropping it off. And Elisham in there as Kamensky got in. Now around behind the net. Bekov looking for a man. Gets that late man coming in. They clear it in front. And they shot and they score is Homotov. On a quick three-way play. And a very nice one. Was that Gusarov that moved in for the point?
Well, fine passing. Anytime you can move the puck or hold on to it this long, watch here as the Soviets just move it around. Everybody's running around. Gusarov's moving in on the left side, and he just makes the pass back over to the right side, and Homotov is going to put it home.
Talk about hiding in plain view, though. Homotov kind of ducked behind the net. Everybody started to ignore him. Then he just came out and sat himself right beside the post.
Oh, yeah. You're killing a penalty. It always ends up that the guy you had, and you go to get somebody else, gets the puck back, and puts it in the open net. But credit Bekov with a great performance on the one-legged balancing act behind the net, carrying it out the other side, and just taking his time and finding Gusarov, who really initiated that play by moving in.
5-0 is the score. Behind his own net. Malakov. Davidov, he gets it through center ice now. Davidov trying to muscle his way past the defense. Takes a bit of a hit from Cirella. Davidov now pushing against the boards. Cleared out near the blue line. Here's Malakov. Malakov taking a shot over top of the net. Bouncing puck. Zelepukin can't handle it. Moving in there is Stelnov. Up against the boards. That's Carlson clearing it free to Mullen. Or Muller, rather. Muller at center ice. Muller forced to retreat as his team starts to make changes. There's right to the bench of the Jersey Devils. Al Boline clearing it in now. Malakov behind his net. Stelnov. Zelepukin. He leaves it off. Carrying the puck down for the Soviets is Larionov. Larionov for Makarov. Makarov around the boards. Larionov. Fetisov couldn't reach that puck. Johnson races after it, and it's hooked away from him as coming back on the play was Konstantinov. Makarov over the line now. Makarov. Kamensky's out on this line as well. Here's Fetisov. There's his shot. Big kick save. Makarov at a bad angle lets it go. Now here's Fetisov. He just unloads a pass to Larionov to Fetisov. Fetisov puts it to Kamensky, who throws it in there. He had to take that puck on a backhand and then get to his forehand, and it's cleared down the ice. Larionov back to get it. Minute 19 left in the 5-minute major penalty called against Brendan Shanahan. Konstantinov inside his own zone. 5-0. Army leads. At center ice, Makarov. Makarov to the line. Stops up. Feeds it ahead. Drops for Fetisov. Fetisov to Konstantinov. His shot is wide. Makarov has got it. Makarov to Fetisov. Fetisov, Makarov. Makarov back to Fetisov at the blue line. He feeds to Konstantinov to Fetisov. To Konstantinov. Moved in for Fetisov. Now Fetisov's got it. Clears it in. Here's a chance. They shot it right at the goaltender at Kamensky. Had the good opportunity as they moved the puck around, but he couldn't get it up over Terreri. Now Danico. Danico knifing through the defense, and Fetisov just stepped ahead of him and shot it into the corner. Fetisov ahead at center ice for Homotov. Homotov getting it over the line. Gets the return pass from Makarov. Homotov behind the net. Larionov and Makarov parked out in front. Homotov. Makarov couldn't get the shot away as he is checked by Wolanin, and is golfed down the ice with 7 seconds left in the 5-minute major. Back to get it. Gusarov behind his own net. The penalty has expired. Gusarov gets it ahead. At center ice now, leading the rush for the Soviets is Homotov. Bekov. Back to Homotov. His shot is gloved by Terreri. He holds on. He'll get the whistle. Give his team a bit of a break here. But Andrei Homotov for tripping at 13-18. Here's a look at it, Brad.
Oh, yeah. There's a check right here. Right comes in, just kind of takes his stick, but catches New Jersey player off bounds and takes his feet out. I wouldn't say it was like a...
Not a blatant, what you call your blatant penalty.
No, I wouldn't say that. I think that the referee was kind of, Morozov was giving New Jersey a little bit break here.
Albaline. On the face-off, Tom Kerbers with his shot. It's blocked in front of the net as Stelnov goes down. And the Soviets bring it out. Working his way through center ice. And finally shooting it in is Chernik. Mark Johnson trying to get that pass, but Zelapukin was doing a good job forechecking. He tried to get the face-off down in that zone if he can. Coming in to help out is Chernik. And finally they get the face-off down in the New Jersey end. 6:10 left in the second period of a 5-0 hockey game. As you look there at Chernik, he's from Kimmich, which is one of the surprise teams of the Soviet League this year. Actually played 1 year with the Central Army back in 85-86 before moving to Kimmich. Kimmich's a team in a place called Voskresensk. I don't think I didn't have to practice that a bit, Brad.
I think you did. That was very good. I like that.
It's about 100 kilometers west of Moscow. It's a good hockey team. We'll be seeing them next year in that 21-game exhibition series the Soviets are going to be playing. Back to get it deep in his own zone is Kerbers.
Ron, look at the New Jersey power play. The injuries have really hurt this club on the power play because McLean's been a big part of it. And, you know, it's really kind of taken the club and not built their confidence an awful lot. They're 20th in the National Hockey League, and they're really having a tough time of getting inside.
That's Soyanin moving in, but is blocked at the defense and back out at center ice. It's Kerbers turning with it. Kerbers ahead. Albaline moving it for Verbeek. Verbeek one-handing it, gets it out in front of the net, but then he was headed off at the pass. And Fetisov comes away with it to Makarov. Makarov, along with Krutov, to try to feed it back to Fetisov, but it was intercepted very neatly by Kerbers. Kerbers back in over the line. Nice drop pass. Verbeek shot hit the side of the net. Verbeek into the corner. Fetisov is back there as he got a pass from Gusarov, who took a big hit as he unloaded the pass. Kerbers has got it at center ice. Kerbers off Makarov's leg. Makarov couldn't get the return pass by Bekov. Danico, Kerbers at his own blue line. Danico now to the line. Danico getting it to the line, and that's about as far as it goes. Gusarov took a kick at it, bounces up in midair, and Bekov has got it. Bekov. Homotov back to Bekov, but it's stripped away there by diving Wolanin. Bekov has it again at center ice. Beats it back. As it's thrown off to Bekov to Homotov. Homotov tried to duck away from the check of Danico. Unable to do that. Here's Alan Anderson's shot. That's gloved by Milnikov. He'll hold on and get another face-off with 4:17 left here in the second period. There's to update you on the Washington-Pittsburgh game, which is the only NHL game going on this afternoon. As Washington leads Pittsburgh 4-0. Stevens, Ridley, Gustafsson, and Gould scoring the goals. For Ridley, his 25th goal of the year. Former Ranger who's done well in Washington.
Well, the Pittsburgh Penguins and Mario Lemieux. Mario's having a little tough time today. He got a bunch the other night here against the Devils, and he's been held off the board in Pittsburgh. The other thing is that the Soviet team, their big players are Fetisov and Makarov. They've been held scoreless in the last game in Boston, so they've kind of opened up a little bit here tonight too. But scorers can go through those droughts.
Doesn't matter which league. Danico. Head. Well, we watched that line with the Dinamo Riga. Here's Loisel with that rising shot. Wolanin tried to get it to the point, but took a bad hop off the boards, and the Soviets get some room. Out at center ice now, Homotov. Homotov cutting across to mid-ice, throws it in front. There's a quick shot by Beckhoff, the rebound, and it bounces wide of the net. A great chance there as Kamensky floated through the slot on the rebound. Now deep in his own zone is Loisel. He's knocked to the ice. Players go down all over the place back there on the collision. They're used to that lack of room behind the net. At least the Soviets aren't. Back in over the line, Zelepukin drops it back, intended for Kazatonov. That was intercepted. And it's Perry Anderson clearing it through center ice past Doug Brown and down into the Soviet end. Stilnoff takes a hit in there. He knew that was coming. Still made the play. Out they come once again. At center ice, Kazatonov over the line. He drops it off. Kazatonov is owned, by the way, by the New Jersey Devils as well. Could wind up with his hockey club. We talked so much about Fetisov. Belichick clearing it up, but it's intercepted. Belichick gets it again, and he gloved it ahead. And it's called for a gloved ahead infraction and a face-off inside the Jersey zone. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. 07 mark of the second period. Soviets leading 5-0. The face-off 7 or 8 feet inside the New Jersey blue line. Rooney trying to whack at it. There's a shot that's just taken wide of the net by Davidov. Belichick stopped as he came out over the line. Mele's got it now. Mele, Belichick fans on it. Poked away from him. Soviets take control with Chernik. Rink wide pass for Stelnov. Up over center ice. Davidoff picking it up now. Davidoff working to the line along with Zelepukin. That's cleared right back out to center ice again. Stelnov ahead for Zelepukin. Bringing it right through the center ice zone for the Soviets. That was Chernik. Davidoff out in front, intercepted by Terreri. Out in front again, but Davidoff unable to get loose against the checking of Joe Cirella, and the puck winds up underneath the glove of Terreri as he reached back to get it. The Soviet player has been knocked to the ice and in some obvious pain. Cirella behind the net. I can't spot who it was. We'll just have to take a look and see what happened here.
I think it's Davidoff in behind the net. Watch here as he's going into the corner with Joe Cirella. Joe Cirella, as they come off the glass, we haven't seen it yet, but thank you very much. Told you we hadn't seen it yet, and Davidoff hasn't seen it yet either. Ron, if there's one rink that I would never want to play the Soviets on, is I wouldn't want to play it on this ice surface. Because believe it or not, this is the biggest ice surface in the National Hockey League. And if you're watching the game, watch how much room there's out there. And it takes a lot of time.
Well, you take a look at our second intermission. Sean Burke will be joining Dan Matheson along with the general manager of the New Jersey Devils, Lou Lamoriello, perhaps to shed a little light on the Vyacheslav Fetisov situation, among other things. Kazatonov in deep. Verbeek checking on him. Puck winds up back far boards. Yemchinov clearing it to center ice. And here they come again. Kostichkin over the line, but he's tied up. Kamensky there. Played a good game, Kamensky, this afternoon here in New Jersey. Swings back with it now. Albaline. Starikov. Kazatonov. Kamensky with a good move through the defense, and he is hauled to the ice. No penalty called. Generous fellow, that Morozov. Oyanin clearing it in front of his net. Can't say he's favoring one team or the other, can you?
Well, he let that go. That was definitely a penalty, no doubt about it. And he just gave it the little safe sign.
But cleared back out in front. And it's Fetisov. wonder, we haven't seen them referee in their own league, but just what is called over there. This is a different style of officiating. Over the line, Fetisov now with some room. He takes an easy backhand, throws it back out in front. Larionov teeing it up, and his shot was blocked, but Krutov makes a terrific move and then takes the shot. See that little skip, Brad? And then he's cleared away. Out to center ice comes Perry Anderson. Anderson's over the line with good speed, heading for the net. He shoots it right on, and it's cleared away as Fetisov was there. Behind the net, Konstantinov. He's checked on the play. Loisel trying to get loose. He's checked off the puck. Anderson's there. Anderson clearing it back into the corner. Cleared out in front. And Konstantinov takes it out of harm's way behind his own net and then clears it out to center ice for Krutov. Krutov, as the siren goes to end the second period of play. And the Soviets in a commanding 5-0 lead after 2 periods here. Total shots on goal 23-11. So 16-7 in this period. And the Soviets have opened up a 5-0 lead. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. Play just underway here in the third period. 5-0 Soviets leading behind his own net. For New Jersey is Tom Kurvers up along the boards. Gusarov gets it near his own line. Up through center ice, intercepted by Doug Brown, but he threw it behind Kurvers. Aaron Broughton has to come back for it, and he has to chase it right back down into his own zone under some checking from Homutov. It's cleared back out to center ice. There, Kazatonov has it. Kazatonov, it's a returning pass from Bekov. And New Jersey comes back. Here's a pass intended for Verbeek. He collects it along the board, feeds it back for Oyanin, but Oyanin couldn't control it. Here's Kamensky. Kamensky, a long drifting shot there taken by Homutov. That's gloved by Terrari. He holds on for the face-off.
Well, some people have a tougher day than other people. Watch here is Vladimir Krutov in the first period gets cut. Actually, it wasn't in the first period. It was in the second period. Here's the stick coming up by Brendan Shanahan. Now, Krutov was cut in the game in Quebec. Now, here he gets cut. He got cut in the ear and had to go and get stitched. And as I said, some people have a tougher day than others. Here he makes a great play by Wolanin. Now, watch Wolanin right here. And you don't think that he's starting to get a little mad? This is one of those road trips you'd want to go home. Well, maybe not.
He's tough. I'm sure he's used to it in the Soviet Union. He's considered by most, even on his own line, as the best player. Makarov's the slicker of the two, but Krutov's that great two-way kind of player they like to have. Do the checking for you, do the scoring for you. Fetisov's back, and that's icing. And so we'll be back in the Jersey Devils zone. Well, there's Fetisov. Very interesting story. Yesterday, the Soviets were here for practice, and the Jersey Devils were in their dressing room getting dressed. Fetisov was out in the hallway. He was about to meet with Lou Lamoriello for about the 69th or 70th time in the last year. And he saw the players in there as he's walking by the door, and he said, what the heck? So he went in and introduced himself to every player in the room, to which Mark Johnson said, close the door. Maybe we won't let him go. But he's an outgoing kind of a guy, and just went in and said, I'm Fetisov. I'd like to introduce myself, as if the guys didn't know.
I think he was going in to see how much they wanted him, to see if they had the name tag up yet.
On the face-off, back deep in his zone now, Danico. Danico has checked on the play. What the Devils really need is just to get a goal. To get kind of rolling here. They're stymied throughout the afternoon. Behind his net for the Soviets is Malakhov. He can't control it. Out of center ice now. Zelepukin dropping the pass off for Davidoff. Davidoff with a good move, tries to get set and coming across the defense on the play. And it's cleared out to center ice. Konstantinov is knocked to the ice. Here's Larionov. Back near his line. Big line out there. At least Larionov is out there. Konstantinov. Now the rink-wide pass. Larionov getting it. Krutov is moving up ice with him. Drops for Krutov. Krutov giving to Makarov. Back to Larionov, who gets the rebound. Back now near the defense. Fetisov, a back pass. Larionov, the shot. It deflects high into the air behind the net. And is picked off there by Steve Rooney of the Devils. Rooney at center ice. To the line. Rooney gets the return pass. Maley's there as well. Maley unable to hold it. Krutov checks him. Maley leaving it there. That's Loisel clearing it out in front of the net. Somebody's lost a glove there. As the puck comes to the boards, the fellow who's lost the glove is Fetisov, who plays it out to center ice. Larionov has got it there. Larionov over the line with Krutov. They dropped it back right past both Krutov and Makarov. And at center ice now, Kasatonov gets the pass away to Fetisov. He's stripped of the puck. Here's a chance for the Devils. And moving in is Oyanin. Oyanin still with it behind the net. A lot of traffic in front of that net. Not much room. Homotov moves in to check. Here's a long shot. That's gloved by Milnikov. It holds on, and we'll have a face-off. We played 3 minutes 55 seconds here in the third period. 5-0. Army leads. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. The veteran and the youngster, Sergei Milnikov of the Army against Chris Terreri. Actually, Milnikov doesn't play in his league with Army. He plays for Traktor Chelyabinsk, which is down in Siberia. Makes the long road trips once in a while, and they go on tour. Takes a shot there and covers up.
Well, the one thing that always strikes me about Melnikov is how far back in the net he is. And anytime that he's going down basically on every shot, and he always goes down with his feet behind him, not spread out where he's got his pads down the side. Now watch how deep he is in the net. That's a point shot. You know, what happens to the cutting down the angle, all the things that we read in those goaltender books, right?
We haven't translated the books. There's a deflection wide of the net. I'll tell you, Tretiak's got a pretty good book, though, one that's worth reading. Bekov over the line. It's a return pass from Kasatonov. Bounces out in front and is cleared away by the defense and out to center ice. And chasing back is Gusarov. Gusarov moving into forecheck is Oyanin. Out to center ice again. Verbeek coming right back in. Oyanin trying to circle the defense, being chased into the corner. Kasatonov just takes him out of the play. Bekov is in there to check on Oyanin. Played pretty well for the Devils. A kid who's learning how to play in North America after playing with the Finnish Olympic team last year. Kamenski backhands it off the boards out to center ice. Daniko's out there with it. He gets a pass intended for Muller. Kasatonov gets the puck to Bekov. Rink wide, Gusarov. Back again for Kasatonov in the corner. Out through center ice. That one went right by everybody, including Kostichkin. Wolanin's there, picks it up, and as he touches it, is called on the icing, and a face-off again down in the into the Red Army zone. As you look there at Frank Wolanin, another high draft choice for the Devils. Another big fella too.
He is a physical player. He was one of the guys that really logged a lot of ice time last year in the playoffs, and he's a very intimidating guy, big, strong, good shot.
From Grosse Pointe, Michigan, who played with that Detroit CompuWare midget outfit before playing in Kitchener just prior to being drafted by the Devils. Just 1 year in major junior hockey, so he's still learning how to play the game. Daniko clearing it in. As you say, his intimidating size is probably what got him to the NHL quickly. Yemchinov at center ice now. He hits the line and is hauled down from behind. Krutov with a shot. That's gloved away by the defense. Back out near the line. Konstantinov getting it to Krutov. Rupp going up against the boards. Kostichkin. Finally, it pops to the far boards. Mark Johnson moving in. Konstantinov on this side, number 16, throwing it to the side of the net. It deflects up off the stick of Nemchinov. And here's Daniko. Daniko out of center ice. Lead pass for Wolanin. Shoots it in. Back to get it for the Soviets is Starikov. And he leaves it there. Nemchinov. Center ice. Check right at the blue line as trying to get out of his zone was Davidoff. It's cleared back in again. Now around behind his own net is Perry Anderson. Around behind the Soviet net. Still inside the zone. That's Zelapukin inside the zone, but he couldn't get loose. Not much room out there as Starikov clears it out. It's cleared back in. Chernik now will try. Starikov at center ice for Davidoff. Zelapukin to the line, but he was lined up there by Velishek. Unloaded the puck, and it's out at center ice once again. Back to get it. Stelnov. Davidoff, number 11. Davidoff makes the move at the line, makes a second move as he got past Brown, but then was forced back by the third checker on the play, Perry Anderson. They'll try again. Out they come. Malakov at center ice. Davidoff over the line. Davidoff against the boards. Backhands it into the corner for Zelepukin. Floating around in front of the net is Larionov. He backs off near the blue line now. Then tried to get a pass in the slot area from Davidoff, but that failed to work. Long shift out here for the Davidoff line. They've managed to get one change made. Now they'll complete the change. And here's Fetisov. Fetisov out there. He stopped as he came to center ice. Larionov ahead. Fetisov. Stelnov. Larionov to Fetisov. Fetisov behind his own net. Now to Stelnov. Up for Larionov. Larionov feeding it to the line. Here's Krutov to the line, trying to get set, forced back, now throws it into the slot. That one went right behind Konstantinov and out to center ice, and Fetisov's got it. Back come the Devils now with Oyanen getting set. Here's the shot taken by Verbeek on this side. Oyanen in the corner, and it's Makarov. Makarov at center ice now. He'll go in alone on the play. Konstantinov was stopped at the line as Makarov was in offside, and we'll get the face-off. 5-0 the score. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. A little bit of room now for Anders Karlsson getting set in the slot, and it's poked away. Good play by Gusarov in front of the net. Karlsson taking too much time. Let Gusarov use the stick. Homotov now inside the zone. Homotov in front of the net, and Kamensky banned on it. And here's Maley. Maley around the defense he comes, but he had trouble with Bekov. The Soviets have now settled down into a checking pattern with very little interest in offense, Brad.
Well, Ron, the Soviets have sometimes been accused of being gracious guests. And what will happen, they'll be dominating a team, and they'll take, instead of running up the score, they won't get as many goals. They've even been known to let teams back in the game. So if they're gracious guests, I'm sure the New Jersey Devils are going to thank them.
Starikov clearing it in. It's either that or they're like Canadian teams who lose interest in lopsided scored games. Canadian teams have never been noted for running up the score internationally or even in their own leagues.
Well, it's a very frustrating game right now for the New Jersey Devils. They came out at the start of this period playing more physical and trying to gain control of this game, but I don't think it'll be possible.
Here's Brown trying to break through. Trailing man on the play was Loisel, but the shot was off a leg. Larionov just brings it in over the line, feeds it through. Good play, but unable to hold it was Kostichkin, who's playing on that line now. Got a line here with Kostichkin, Yemchinov, and Larionov. Tikhonov doing a little experimenting here with his 5-0 lead. Fetisov off the boards. Here's Larionov. Over from Fetisov to Larionov. He'll start out of his own zone. He's floating through the center ice zone. Stelnov, Kostichkin. In deep. Larionov positions himself behind the net. Now Yemchinov. Yemchinov gets the return pass from Larionov. And puck pops free. Oyanen called to the ice. That's Larionov out in front of the net, went off a couple of legs and wide of the net. The best chance there was Yemchinov, but he was tied up by the defense. I don't think he ever saw the puck there, and it's Oyanen who picks it up for the Devils. He'll drift it in from center ice and head for the bench. Melnikov. Fans getting a little restive here. There's Malakov. Chernik, Malakov out at center ice. Zelepukin over the line. Davidoff. Chernik. Chernik couldn't get that pass. Chernik circling with it now. Still with that puck is Chernik, dropping it back to the point. A wrist shot, and that one seemed to be a screen shot on Terreri. He saw it in the last instant. Just got his shoulder on it, and then it drifted wide of the post. Now Danico out at center ice for Anders Karlsson again with some room. Karlsson fakes, passes it across the goal mouth for Mark Johnson. And Johnson just couldn't get his stick to it. Soviets again deep in the zone with Fetisov there for Zelepukin. Zelepukin along the blue line, feeds it back. Konstantinov getting it from Fetisov. Tic-tac-toe here. Larionov, Davidoff. Larionov seems to be out there with everybody. Makarov has now joined him. At least 2/3 of the line is together, but we haven't seen Krutov for a while. Velishek keeping it in, but then he's checked by Fetisov. Out to the line they come. Davidoff. Davidoff taking a shot. And it's batted out of midair and up into the crowd. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. A couple of goals for Gustafsson. Dave Christian has scored a goal and an assist. Ridley with his 25th goal plus an assist in the game. Larry Murphy with a couple of assists. 6-0. Washington leading the Penguins. Penguins will be playing the Central Army team Wednesday night. Here's Fetisov to Larionov. Back to Fetisov. Cleared straight up ice past Makarov and all the way down the ice. Terreri's out of the net. Fired off the glass and all the way out to center ice. And Fetisov just lazily goes after the puck. Gusarov back in his own zone. Larionov, who wears number 8 on this hockey club, but 11 with the Soviet national team. Gusarov. Here he comes at center ice. With Makarov. Makarov gets the drop pass, has trouble handling the puck. They're not concentrating very well right now, Brad.
Well, they don't really have to. They've got a 5-goal lead. It's like, let's get this game over with. Let's not get hurt. Let's move on to the next city and kind of get our jobs done out of the way. So they're not really putting any pressure on. They're not trying to establish anything. They're just not trying to lose any ground.
No team in the Super Series has gone through undefeated. No team will go through this one undefeated either. There's a quick shot in front of the net. Is having trouble controlling it was Kazatonov for a moment. This team has had a tie, but right now they are on the verge of winning here. And we'll finish that thought in a moment as you look there at Tommy Albeline. 5-0 the score. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. In the Super Series, the Central Army versus the Pittsburgh Penguins. 8 o'clock Wednesday night. Mario Lemieux and company. All coffee. There's Muller working in the corner. Circle away from some checking by Bekov.
Nice little job by Bekov. You notice they let Kirk Muller just do all kinds of dips and doing and spinning. And he said, I'm not going to take him until he decides to come out of the corner. As long as he's in the corner doing that, he's not dangerous.
Up in the corner again, and Kazatonov is the one who one-hands it out to center ice for Bekov. Bekov, as Kazatonov moves up in the play, they try to get it back to Kazatonov. It was poked away by Kerbers. Now Bekov, checked by Verbeek. Bailey out for Muller. Muller trying to get some room along the boards. Kazatonov cuts the angle off and takes him up against the glass. Starikov. Ahead, Kamensky reaching for it and unable to knock it down. Kerbers then backhands it up along the boards. Homotov coming up on the play to Bekov. Bekov is on the boards, moving out, feeds it to the deep slot. Now here's a shot by Fetisov that deflected up over top of the net. Bekov's got it in the corner. Bekov in the corner again, trying to get around. It was Kamensky. He made a move, but the defenseman just didn't go for it. Verbeek stripped him of the puck. Defensive player. He's a forward, of course. Now moving in deep is Anders Carlson. Carlson leaving it for Ojanen. Ojanen, quick shot right on. Best scoring chance was Daneyko right there. Daneyko with a shot right on and a screen. And Molnikov was right there.
Ken Daneyko staying with the slot. He wasn't sure the puck was going to get to him initially, but he hung out and the puck got out to him. He didn't get a strong shot, but he got a shot.
5-0 the score. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series. Probably the best scoring chance of the game. It actually had 2 of them on the sequence.
Well, there's Ojanen getting it out, and it gets deflected on the way to the net. But Daneyko really hung in there. He knew his man had control of the puck. He could have pulled the ripcord and bailed out a little bit early. Well, that's a look at what it takes to get into this place. It's an expensive place. Nice range.
New York.
New York. The Big Apple. Wow, this is the big New Jersey.
Meadowland swamps is what it is. We're about a rock throw from Manhattan here.
What a great facility out here with the Meadowlands racetrack and the Giants Stadium and the Brendan Byrne Arena. It's a great complex out here.
As long as you don't get lost on the interchanges of the freeways here. All in different clover leaves, it seems. But you're right, it's a terrific complex. Befitting, I suppose, New York. Ojanen at center ice, clearing it rink wide. Kostichkin Tried to do a Willie Mays in center ice, couldn't knock it down, and the puck winds up coming back into the Soviet zone where Carlson picks it up. Carlson being checked there by Stelnov. They have high hopes for Stelnov, the young defenseman, number 21. I think he's going to be the fellow to replace Fetisov in the long run. Stelnov working in behind the net now, picks it up, stumbled over the net. Again, he's got the problem of not as much room behind the net as he's used to, and he wound up running into it as he was taking the puck around behind the net. Here comes Makarov. He mishandled it as he crossed the blue line to center ice, and up against the board, Steve Rooney's checking on him. Also in there, Kostichkin, and Kostichkin comes away with the puck. He stopped just as he hit the line, and Danico comes out. The entertainment value of this game has plummeted here in the third period.
Well,
very scrambling.
The Devils are trying to do anything and everything to kind of get some kind of momentum going, trying to get one goal at least. I mean, they're sending 3 guys in. 3 guys are getting caught in center ice. They're eventually going to leave themselves wide open.
Cirella with the puck at center ice. He'll try now. Puck is cleared into the corner. Doug Brown picking it up behind the net now. They roll it in front. That was Anderson trying to backhand it there. And he gets another chance out in front, but was unable to put his stick to it. Soviets back out. Chernik. Zelepukin over the line, back to Chernik. Chernik cutting for the slot, drops it off. That's Davidoff. Davidoff with a good move, but he spun around. Good defensive move by Doug Brown, as he just put the clutch there on the arm of Davidoff. Here's Cirella. Cirella is stopped. Davidoff is hauled down. There'll be a penalty here. He really got grabbed as he hit the line by Cirella. And the puck rolls into the goal mouth area, and Terreri had to hold on there. So, with 2:23 left in regulation time, Morozov calls the penalty against the Red Army, or against the Devils. 5-0 the score. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV. Cirella off for holding at 17:37. Take a look at this one, Brad.
Well, if you can't get the guy the right way, you can get him any way you can. Actually, Joe Cirella just reached out and spun Davidoff, and he just kind of kept going with that triple Lutz.
Kurt Browning couldn't have done it better. Down behind the net. You got momentum going. You can really do some of those loops. Out of center ice now for the Soviets. That's Larionov, Krutov, Larionov. He feeds it back out to center ice. Fetisov was a little late getting there.
I don't think he was interested in really closing the gap.
No. Well, here's Makarov. He tried to get through the defense, doing it all himself, and it's cleared down the ice. I don't know whether shutouts are really considered important in the Soviet Union, but Milnikov's not getting an awful lot of help back there right now. There's sort of just playing it pretty loose. Larionov over the line to Makarov. Makarov stops up against the boards. Back out to Fetisov, Kazatonov. They've reunited that pair. In for Krutov. Krutov in front now. Here's the shot by Larionov. And at the side of the net, Makarov had a chance. He reached back with it, put it into the goal mouth area, but didn't get enough of it to put it past the goal line.
Well, on the far side, the defenseman, Tommy Abilene, concerned more with Makarov than what's in the slot. And Larionov just almost turned, had lots of time. You know, it's one thing you're a defenseman in front of the net, the puck's on the far side. You cannot make a commitment. You got to shut off, you know, the sure goal, which is the pass through the crease, but you've also got to be concerned by with the immediate slot.
Notice that Makarov wears the K now, which is, of course, the captaincy. Not Fetisov, who is the captain of the Soviet national team. Here's Makarov moving in now. The reason that they changed it was they thought that Fetisov was on his way to the New Jersey Devils. It's been held up by the bureaucracy. Kazatonov to Fetisov is wide. Less than a minute remaining in the hockey game. Fetisov again. Over for Larionov. Up against the glass. Gloves it. Puts it onto the stick of Krutov. Back to Larionov. And it went right past him. And out to center ice comes Claude Loisel. Loisel over the line. He hustles into the corner after it along with Doug Brown. Loisel out intended for Brown, but Makarov picks it up with 35 seconds left. Makarov trailing as Fetisov. Fetisov gets the puck. Fetisov deep. Drops it out in front of the net, but there's nobody there. And here's a clear break for Kurt Muller. Will he get the shutout breaker? No!
Milnikov coming up with a tremendous save on Kurt Muller to protect his shutout. And he gets both pads over there and lays down as Muller tries to slip it under his feet. Disappointing that he didn't get that goal. Here's the turnover by the Soviets as it comes in front. Watch this. It gets redirected. There's Muller coming back in late. And here's a good look at it. One-on-one. This is as good as a penalty shot. Head up, goes to his left. Now watch Melnikov throw that leg back there and just end up with a puck underneath his pad.
Well, he's an experienced goaltender. I'm sure Muller's over the bench. Well, if I'd only done this, if I'd only done that, what are you going to do?
You know, the Soviet weakness is basically in goaltenders has always been their catching hand. Sometimes a little scouting report like that prior to the game can help.
From the face-off, it's cleared in front and then flipped out to center ice. All right, now here's a chance for Homotov as he goes in, but Cirella came back that time and broke that play up. Albolin in the corner against Homotov. Behind the net now with 5 seconds left, out along the boards, and this hockey game is over. Well, the Soviets started out in Quebec City with a tie against the Nordic. They have beaten the Islanders, the Boston Bruins, and now the Jersey Devils. They have 2 games left in their series against Pittsburgh Wednesday night, and then finally they wrap it up against the Buffalo Sabres. 5-0 was the final score here. The shutout goes to Sergei Melnikov. This is the NHL Soviet Super Series on CTV.